Picture this, a quiet Tuesday morning, the kind where the sun spills through your windows, coffee's brewing, and you're admiring your brand new, sleek navy blue sofa. Sounds idyllic, right? That's what I thought, too, until my neighbor, Evelyn Harper, decided my furniture was a crime against humanity. My name's Michael Reynolds, an architect in my early 50s, living in the leafy suburb of Oakwood, New Jersey. What started as a bizarre complaint about my couch spiraled into a neighborhood saga that exposed entitlement, subtle prejudice, and the power of standing your ground. Buckle up, this story's got more twists than a soap opera, and it's all true. I'd moved to 127 Maple Drive about 6 months earlier, drawn to Oakwood's tree-lined streets and tidy lawns. It was the kind of place where folks waved, kids rode bikes, and life felt orderly kind of rhythm as a guy who designs buildings for a living. I keep my home neat, not fussy, but with a certain dignity. My new sofa was the centerpiece of my living room, modern, firm, stylish. I was still basking in its glory when Evelyn, the self-appointed guardian of neighborhood taste, came knocking. The knock wasn't friendly, it was a summons. I opened the door to find Evelyn, a woman in her late 60s, blonde hair in a tight bob, arms crossed, neon green tracksuit practically glowing. "Mr. Reynolds," she snapped, skipping any pleasantries, "that thing in your living room is an absolute disgrace." I blinked. "You mean my sofa?" She sniffed, peering past me. "If you call it that. It's stiff, uninviting, and I can see it from the street through your open curtains. It's lowering the entire neighborhood's aesthetic." I was floored. My sofa, inside my house, was a public menace? "Evelyn," I said, keeping my cool. "I like it, and it's my property." Her eyes narrowed. "It's not just personal, Michael. That couch is so aggressively uncomfortable looking, it's causing me distress. It's practically an assault on good taste." She demanded I replace it with something softer, maybe beige or floral. Beige? Floral? Not my style. I stood firm. "It's staying." Her face turned a shade that clashed with her tracksuit. "If you won't remove it, I'll report it as a public disturbance." Before I could process the lunacy, she whipped out her phone and dialed 911, ranting about visual blight and furniture negligence at 127 Maple Drive. I stood there, coffee going cold, wondering if I'd slipped into a comedy sketch. 15 minutes later, a police cruiser rolled up. Officers Daniels and Lopez stepped out, looking baffled. "Sir," Daniels said, "we got a call about your couch being dangerously uncomfortable." I invited them to inspect the offensive sofa. Lopez, fighting a smirk, confirmed it was just a gray couch inside my house, perfectly legal. They warned Evelyn about misusing 911, but she was unrepentant, insisting my furniture was an attack on decency. As they drove off, she shot me a glare that promised this wasn't over. I sank into my sofa, comfortable as ever, and felt a chill. Evelyn wasn't just eccentric, she was relentless. That couch incident was just the opening shot. Evelyn launched a campaign of petty harassment designed to chip away at my peace. My morning paper started landing in the bushes, suspiciously close to the sidewalk. Anonymous notes appeared in my mailbox. "Some residents prefer north-south lawn mowing for curb appeal. My guy mowed diagonally." Another complained my porch light low wattage. HOA approved was disruptive to nocturnal wildlife. I'm an architect. I live for precision. These weren't random. I began documenting everything. Dates, times, photos of misplaced papers, notes in their prim font. Evelyn's scrutiny felt personal. I'm a black man in a mostly white, though progressive, neighborhood. She never used slurs too refined for that, but her tone, her assumption she could lecture me like a wayward child, reeked of entitlement. Other neighbors, like Mr. Thompson with his overgrown lawn or Mrs. Carter with her banshee wind chimes, never drew her ire. Just me, the newcomer, with my orderly home and hostile sofa. When I planted hostas, she interrogated me about soil runoff and mulch quality, her eyes lingering on me like I was the vermin she mentioned. It was harassment dressed as concern. Her tactics escalated. She weaponized the Oakwood Homeowners Association, lodging anonymous complaints about clutter, flattened recycling boxes out for 12 hours, a tree branch barely brushing the sidewalk, and my trash can left curbside 7 minutes past the 8 p.m. deadline. Each required response sometimes costs, like $75 to trim that branch professionally. I complied, documented, and seethed. The HOA, led by a board administrator named Susan, upheld her complaints, painting me as the problem neighbor. It was death by 1,000 paper cuts, and it was working. My sister, Lisa, down in Charlotte, was livid when I vented. Michael, this isn't about your couch. She's targeting you probably because you're black. You can't keep playing defense. Lisa's right, I thought. Evelyn's minor victories fines. My growing paranoia about stray leaves were eroding my sanity. I needed a plan, not to lash out, but to expose her using her obsession with rules. My architect's mind kicked into gear. Evelyn's entitlement was her foundation, her hypocrisy, her weak point. I designed her downfall. I studied the HOA bylaws like a legal scholar, scouring for Evelyn's violations. From my office window, I spotted a tin shed at her house, 128 Maple Drive, half hidden by a bush. It was oversized, unpermitted, and too close to Mrs. Carter's fence, clearly against Section 8, subsection D. Public records confirmed no permit. I photographed it discreetly, noting its size, about 50 square feet, well over the 20 square foot limit. Then I noticed her SUV, a gas-guzzling Cadillac, leaving oil spots at the community center and grocery store parking lots. Bylaw violation, vehicle fluid leakage as aesthetic blight. I snapped timestamped photos. One trash day, I saw her toss an old keyboard into regular garbagey waste, another infraction. While gathering evidence, I kept my property pristine. Trash cans angled perfectly, lawn immaculate. I met with Mr. Whitaker, head of the Architectural Review Committee, posing hypothetical questions about sheds and leaks, cementing my image as a compliant homeowner. I nudged neighbors like Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Carter to raise general concerns about bylaws, planting seeds without naming Evelyn. Then, I sent an anonymous, detailed letter to the HOA about her shed, mailed from another town, timed to hit before the annual general meeting, AGM. The AGM was my stage. Held in the community center's drab auditorium, it was a snooze budgets, elections until the open forum. Mr. Thompson stood, questioning oil leaks in public spaces. Mrs. Carter's son, Paul, asked about unpermitted sheds encroaching on property lines. Whitaker confirmed an active investigation into a shed at 128 Maple Drive. Evelyn froze, her face paling. I raised my hand, calm as ever. I'm glad the HOA enforces rules fairly, I said, because I've faced relentless anonymous complaints about my sofa, my trash cans, even a 911 call while certain residents overlook their violations, like unpermitted structures or leaky vehicles. Evelyn exploded, leaping up. He's talking about me. His sofa's hostile, and that shed's grandfathered. Whitaker shut her down. No permit, no grandfathering. It's non-compliant. I offered my dossier photos, notes, bylaws documenting her harassment and violations. The room went silent. Evelyn's allies squirmed. Neighbors gaped. Her concerned citizen mask shattered. She fled as the meeting ended, her reign of terror in tatters. The fallout was swift. The HOA ordered Evelyn's shed removed. It was gone in weeks. Her SUV was serviced, or Repla said no more oil spots. Her complaints stopped, and the HOA grew wary of anonymous tips from Maple Drive. Neighbors warmed to me. Their misconceptions cleared. Evelyn became a shadow. Her neon tracksuits swapped for muted grays, her gaze averted. My home was my sanctuary again, my sofa as comfortable as ever. Looking back, Evelyn's audacity calling 911 over a couch revealed a deeper injustice. Entitlement weaponized to exclude. Her subtle racism made me an easy target, but my patience and facts turned her rules against her. Justice wasn't loud. It was methodical, satisfying, and final. What do you think? Have you faced a neighborhood tyrant or subtle injustice? Share your thoughts below, especially on how we confront petty tyranny or bias without losing our dignity. Take a stand, voice your view, and let's talk about making our communities fairer.